'tis the season for colds, RSV, earaches, all of that fun stuff that comes with having kids. But how do you do it and balance homeschooling at the same time? Let's chat. So the first thing is that this is where the beauty of homeschooling shines, because you don't have to worry about getting a doctor's appointment so you can get a note so that they are excused. You don't have to worry about all the extra work they're going to have to catch up on over the weekend, etc. So in that way, this is an opportunity for you to model that rest and time are two really important ways to heal when we're sick, so that you're not back into the same cycle the following week. But where do you go from there? Okay, so great, Tricia, we can be flexible, but what next? So I kind of take two branches from this. If my kiddo is so sick that they just need to be sleeping and such, we just let it be. Let them have that time off. When I set up our homeschool year, I always build in some extra buffer days to account for things like this. Kind of like a school system will add days for snow if you're in the north. I do the same thing. We build in time. Now, my kiddos don't get sick like they used to when they were little. I mean, they're 13 and 15, and it's really been years since we've had much that really impacted our school days. That said, I still build in those days, just fewer than I used to. So if they're that sick, just let them be. Heal, rest, whatever. Now, if they are like a cold where you're not thinking great, you don't have a lot of brain power, but you're also not sick enough that you're sleeping the days away, that's where I like to have some backup plans. And I do this same thing with me. Like if I'm sick enough that I just need to be resting, then I don't worry about what goes on. But if I am sick, but easily functionable, then I also have this list. So what I do from here is at the beginning of our school year, I take a list, and this is going to be a free PDF for you. Link down there. But you can make it on your own as well. I make a list for each kiddo and then for myself. When mom is sick, here are some things that can be done. When Matthew is sick, again, mild sickness that impairs the day but doesn't prevent the school day. Some things that he could do. Now, what goes on that list are things like any current schoolwork that is mindless. Meaning, like when they were little, things like handwriting, basic math, reading books that were just a little below their level, that kind of thing. Now, what it usually means is a list of things that are good review items, because at their ages, most of what they're doing is high school level work for credit. I need them to be able to score well. So, things that went on at Matthew's this year include cursive practice. Yes, my boys are teens, but really, who couldn't use a little bit more cursive practice as far as like proper formation? I could. So, cursive practice, and I just downloaded some free worksheets that I found. Easy, done. I've got a couple math workbooks that we've used over the past few years, but not as like curriculum, extra things. So I have some of those on his list. Just things that are still educational, but more in the review category than in the proper learning category. So between the buffer days and those lists, I've planned for sickness to happen. If it doesn't happen, no big deal. We can always use that extra time for whatever. And those things are always great for time fillers, waiting in for appointments, etc. But if we do get sick, then I've got those plans in place. And because I've planned for that, the stress goes down. Because when you're looking at a week of unfinished assignments or 2 days of unfinished assignments, whatever it is, it can feel really overwhelming. And you're like, where am I going to make this up? I don't want to spend the weekend doing it. We've already got other stuff or whatever. You don't want to add all that to you. But because I've got that already planned, I can approach it knowing that it's really going to be okay. Yes, there are times when things just have to get caught up and made up, especially if you've outsourced. That's a whole other issue when they're sick. But for the most part, this is where the flexibility of homeschooling shines. Okay, so before sickness hits your home, or if it already has and you've got kiddos napping right now, grab a sheet of paper or grab the PDF that I have and make a list of some things that you can do, or more precisely, the things that your kiddos can do. Also make a list for you if you're sick. And in the same vein, spend another 10 minutes and jot down some recipes that are easy for you to make if you've got kiddos sick for several days. So in the next day or two, before you forget, take some time to plan to be sick. Okay? I promise that this is not going to take you more than 15 or 20 minutes. In fact, I don't want it to take you more than that because you don't need to. 5 minutes per kid, make a list, jot down yourself, make a few meal ideas, and you're done. Okay? And I will see you in the next video.